Hey Hipple, this is Rob again. I'm now on your second scheme, which I guess is more of a U-shaped scheme, perhaps, and see what we can do here. So first off, thanks for the 3D view, and let me go in and put this in presentation mode so I can draw on it. Um, get my pen going here. Sorry for the delay. So check on the rainwater harvesting, solar systems, door open good, pond good, light shelves good, wind turbines cool, very low electricity but still cool. So the problem is if you go with the turbines you can't do any trees here along here, so it means your foliage, actually the way you're designing it I guess there is no foliage along this edge even though that's considered to be a landscape buffer. We'll talk about that. I mean you could do low bushes and shrubs and keep the wind up there. That's good. That's good too. I'll take a look at your plans to see if that really works. Um, Entrance to school. So this is a little bit less safe than the other one that you had. You got the bus drop off, desirable views, good. Light shelves, right? Open courtyard. Not really what I would call a courtyard. It's very shallow. This is just more of a space, although let's see what we can do with that space to make it more usable. Usually there might be something more to celebrate the entry there, and that maybe that'll come in time. Um, Parking is clearly killing you in terms of how it's eating up space on the site, and that looks good. Bicycle parking, that's good. Okay. So from a landscape perspective, there is this great zone in here that I suppose could work very nicely, and I suppose that these people would walk down this way and come into the building. Um, so this needs to have trees, it needs to have a little bit of life to it, and so it looks like something that I really want to be a part of. And this can also be right here, it can be all treed up and planted if you wanted to, because I mean there's a sidewalk there, but you can have trees in the sidewalk. Um, at this point, so I probably would just have my cars come back out this way and leave this as a paved area for people coming in and out of the gym. Um, Again, you have the same problem as the other one where this is a relatively thin area, although I think this one's a little bit better. You have the pond, rain warning strategy, it's all good. So let's see how the plans work out. So one of the things that you want to do right away is you want to get what's called, you want to have a vestibule so that you don't have cold air coming right in. And actually, I would think about if I was you, I kind of want to move the entry down this way to line up with maybe a reception desk or something that the administrators can more carefully watch people coming in and out, which I think would be great. Um, there is a couple little kind of funky code regulations here that are going to require you to put a corridor here to get out. I think this is two-story building. Oh, yeah. So I think you have a stair here at this end, which is good. You're also going to need a stair somewhere down on this end. So you're going to need a stair here. So that's going to be what I would probably do is try to redesign this a bit and get a stair here and get us to get a way in and out. Although you probably want something more generous, and you certainly would like to get in and out at this point. So the problem is you're I don't know. I'm starting to think these classrooms could get a little smaller. They look really big, and I know that's what Mequon is currently using on their campus, but it certainly is killing you. And you don't necessarily need. I mean, this is kind of nice. You have a long kind of corridor. You can have windows along here. Um, So you've got a stair here. You're going to need a stair down here somewhere to meet code. You've got some bathrooms which are kind of near the entry. The problem with this lobby is it's sort of like a corridor. It doesn't seem like a place that I really want to hang out in. I wonder if there's a way to redesign this a bit to make it more functional or more comfortable as an entry thing. Part of that might be to go ahead and just kind of break out the building and have it come much further out into this space here since you have this space. And then maybe even there's like a covering, you know, there's like a cover over this, so the buses come in, they drop off, and it's raining, they go right in. Typically when you do a building like this, you want to be able to come in and see back out. So I'm going to look on your second floor. I don't think it's magical that all of the classrooms have to be on the first floor. And let's see, you've got science, music, art, cafeteria, which looks just like another classroom, and the kitchen's in really a prime zone. I'm surprised that the cafeteria isn't really there. And this, by the way, this is actually not proper. This doesn't really exist because part of this is loading. Part of it is mechanical room. And I think you can do a basement. You can do a basement underneath the first floor in order to get a lot of this taken care of. So that goes away, and if that goes away, I think what we can begin to do is to, let me just see where those stairs were going to be. We need to put a stair here, right? And you got your library there. I'm wondering if I couldn't take art and music, put it there, bring up a couple classrooms from the ground floor and put them here. That allows me to remove this classroom. So when you come in, this whole thing becomes your lobby now. You see that? That looks pretty good. And in fact, what I might do is, well, I guess I'm kind of keeping that classroom. I might have, so I'm going to take this classroom and put it upstairs, and actually I can take one more classroom and put it upstairs. And the one I might take is, how would I do this? I might, I like the way you have all the classrooms on this relatively facing south, although you're facing a little west. Kind of like the way that works, and kind of like the location of this bathroom. Now your stair, let's just go back up for a minute. Yeah, so here you go. So if I move art and music here, I bring one classroom up and put it here. This now can be open, meaning not a room, and I can begin to put a stair here, big old stair here, and have people coming up and down and making this a proper lobby. And that also allows people to come in and out to see the courtyard, right? So that's pretty cool. So basically you still have to keep the fire stair here, and you still have to keep a fire stair here, but you get what's called in architecture a monumental stair, which is open, which when I come in I'm going to see out to the site, and I'm also going to see this beautiful stair, and I'm going to need an elevator to go in here somewhere. So that's kind of interesting situation. And just to give you a little bit more feedback, I mean, I would take the library. Let's see, would that work? No. I'm trying to think of how I could rework this plan a little bit to help it become more efficient. Let me take a look at your gym. So you have your gym assembly, and the problem with this one is your bathrooms are a mile away. You had changing rooms in the other one. So typically you'd have some changing rooms maybe here, but now you have no gym left. Let's go to your second floor. So why are you having so much trouble fitting everything? I think your rooms are really big. I wish that I caught that in the programming phase because it's making things a lot more difficult. I think unfortunately you're going to need some restrooms down at this end to help you out, which means that some of this facility space could be used for restrooms. Oh, this could be restrooms and changing rooms, and you can begin to put a basement underneath the first floor to see if you can get some of this functional stuff taken care of. But I like the idea of bisecting. This is what we would call a bisect. So when you come in, you're not sort of stuck in this long corridor. You have a proper kind of space that feels very comfortable and very kind of ceremonial almost, which could be really kind of nice. So this becomes sort of, all of this yellow space becomes the lobby, and then this becomes the circular stair or some sort of sculptural stair. Now the only problem I don't like about this is this classroom and this classroom are very close into the craziness. So typically what we would do in a situation like that, is we would make sure the doors were actually over on this end and this end so that they didn't have to deal with that. And then you could even make this a little bit more narrow. Now the other thing you need though is a reception desk in the admin I guess it's okay to have admin here, but you do need to get a reception desk in here somewhere to make sure that people can be checked in and out easily. The other thing that I've seen done in schools is in the morning these doors are open, but in the afternoon or when school is in session, there's another set of doors here that people have to come in this way off hours so that they can be really checked out and screened before they come in. Um, the other problem is you're going to carve out some bathrooms on this end. It's going to be pretty tricky. You may have, you could just take this part of the building. You could take that building, put your parking up against here. Now, from an urban point of view, having a parking lot on the corner is not sort of your cultural perspective, maximizing your cultural perspective. So because your building is so big, you're probably having some trouble. Now the other thing to think about in this scheme, and I don't know about the other one, is to go to 3 stories. There's a 4-story building across the street right there. So I don't think a 3-story building is going to be a huge problem. If you go to 3 stories, what you can begin to do is take some of these functions and repeat them on the 3rd floor. And that's going to open up, again, remember we wanted to open this up to this big open sort of lobby below. So now with the 3rd floor, and if you can get a stair in, we took this too, right? So, and I think this can go away. I think we can begin to redesign this. Now here's the thing, don't redesign either of these schemes. What you're going to do is you're going to do your modeling, your simulations, and then you're going to do a full analysis of each scheme with my help and the other professor's help. By the way, this is going to move over to here, and this is going to become a fire stair, which is an enclosed stair. So don't redesign, just take the feedback and learn from it, and then what we're going to do is we're going to work on comparing these 2 schemes and seeing in the end which one is going to be worth developing and taking forward. So I hope that's helpful, and I'm going to go ahead and sign off here.